You're listening to part one of a conversation between Scott Jacobson, a lover of bands and a maker of music videos, and Tamara Federici, producer of Every Band Ever, already in progress.
Great. I just want to thank you, Tamara, for having me on. We've been friends for a long time. I've always felt a little sheepish about bringing up this part of your history because you know that I'm a huge music fan. You know, you have a bit of a history in the music business.
But I'm a little intimidated talking to you because I know that you know a lot about music and you appreciate music so much.
I mean, not anywhere close to what you know. That's very flattering, but I mean, yeah, I've wanted to bring this stuff. I didn't want you to think ever that this is the only reason I hang out with you, that you do all this, stuff. Are we are we doing this? Are we going to just kind of break the seal and talk about, I mean, you've had an amazing career.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I feel like let's break the seal. I mean, let's speak the unspoken.
I mean, I don't even know where to begin, which is the lame way to start off. But
well, let me ask you this. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, please.
I was gonna say, what are you into right now? What are you listening to, and which just sort of speaking to you right now?
I'm actually listening to a lot of stuff from the '80s, and it's stuff that even it's kind of the music of my childhood in a way, but I avoided it for many years because a lot of it was just kind of on when I was a kid, and I was never interested. But now I'm really diving into stuff like, I mean, do you know Blondie?
Yeah, of course. I love Blondie. Super nice.
Super nice music, or are you talking about the people?
I'm super nice people, but also crazy good music. That was a great time.
I was never for me, they're more of a singles band. And so I never really got deep into the discography, but I mean, I've been listening now and I don't know. Parallel Lines, that's I mean, most people consider that to be their best album. Any involvement?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm excited to say that I worked on that. Like, I feel like I don't know if I'm bragging or not, but that one is such a good song just on its own, and it's still a good song. So that's exciting to me. Like Heart of Glass. One of the things for Heart of Glass was they actually let me write like a line. So Mucho Mistrust is.
You wrote
I wrote Mucho Mistrust. That's it. Those 2 words.
That was you?
Because we couldn't fit them in. We had to just wedge it in 2 words. So, I mean, that's a small one, but...
Do you speak Spanish?
I don't.
Well, it was a great little, it's regarded as one of the best bilingual albums of all time, mainly because of that one line.
That tells you about the time, I feel like.
Yeah, no, there wasn't much going on in the bilingual new wave space, but they really blew it open with it. But I mean, that's just amazing right there. But I mean, Debbie Harry is such an iconic figure, and she still got it. I saw Blondie not too long ago. You were around Debbie Harry circa Heart of Glass. She was in her imperial phase then. I just want to hear Debbie Harry stories.
I think at first she didn't, before she had the style in the hair, she kind of looked like, she's from WKRP.
Lonnie Anderson?
No, the other one.
Oh, not even Lonnie Anderson?
No, she looked like...
You look like the other woman on WKRP?
Yes, her name. Oh, God, I can't believe I just forgot her. Her name is my password on a lot of things. It is. I've forgotten it, but she had the long brown hair. And it was sort of like, no, don't go that way. What are you doing? That's not great. And so when she got Blondie, she changed her mind and she said, I want to look like a cool Persian cat with sunglasses. And then
She did. She totally did. I never put that together. That's what she was going for?
Yes, but she achieved that,
And so she was joining when you said when she got Blondie, so there was a band called Blondie already, but she was joining as a brunette. And
no, sorry. When I meant when she got blonde. Because then they named the band Blondie after that, after she got blonde. But she was just making a choice early on.
Oh, interesting. Wow, that's...
Yeah, she just wanted to join. I guess, coming out of Joni Mitchell and all these things you wouldn't expect that she would listen to. She was just doing a long brown straight hair. And then I think she knew that she wanted to be, a rock and roller and super cool in New York. And, people give her things as a blonde person. I saw a man give her insulin once because
Really?
He
Was
thought that she wanted it. She doesn't need
she
it.
wasn't going into any shock or anything, that she just got
No, this guy
the
was just
there? Wow.
transfixed.
That is really a sign that, you've got people wrapped around your finger if they're just
Yeah, that's not
injecting
flowers.
you with. No, that's really amazing. Like and I guess that kind of leads into, in a strange way, into, Parallel Lines, the title. A lot of people assume that it's like a cocaine reference. I mean, you were there during the recording of this album. Just give it to me straight. Was there a lot of just partying going on?
It's only occurred to me right now as you say that that might be it. I thought it was double lines as in a road, as in
Like they're driving, like they're going.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
But I
Could this
never.
be a
That
geometry?
might be. I feel like this might be explaining a lot of things to me right now.
So it
Might
seems like
be.
you were kept somewhat in the dark,
I guess perhaps so.
because
But
you're entertaining the notion that it could have been cocaine, but that wasn't the
well,
Blondie you knew. You knew.
that's not the Blondie I knew. I also spent a lot of time tracking those five dudes. I mean, it was Blondie and five guys,
Yeah,
and a lot of times I couldn't. I couldn't keep them straight. So it's mostly like keeping tabs on where all five of them were.
it is
So
difficult. That was going to be my next question. Most of their album covers have Debbie Harry, who is strikingly beautiful, and then they just kind of toss the other five guys in the background, and they're totally indistinguishable from each other. And but they make for good props behind Debbie Harry. And did you ever
agreed.
figure out who was who?
Not really. I mean, I know there's the husband,
The
and
husband,
the
yeah.
other ones are the not husbands to me.
Maybe
That's really the only
the
distinction
not
to me.
husbands would also have been a good.
It
You
would be
finish
good.
doesn't really take the husband into account.
She takes up so much. She has so much charisma that it's hard to. You don't need to have the other people have charisma. You don't need to like pull that out of them, and
Yeah,
you kind of just need to keep them back and away from her charisma. You
right. And
know?
when you have charisma like that, you almost can't really see it's kind of blinding. And those guys could be, you know, extraordinarily handsome and charismatic in their own right, but you put them next to Debbie Harry, and it's just kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, Debbie Harry can make an armadillo cool. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's a thing. Like that's
that's interesting. I could jump around so there were a lot of things. Blondie did a lot of things that are considered kind of groundbreaking. The rap breakdown in Rapture.
Mhm.
They were sort of there at the very beginning of hip hop. They knew some of the players. They're name checking Fab Five Freddy, who was a big figure in the early days of hip hop. What did you think? I mean, were you part of that decision to take this new art form and shoehorn it into one of their songs? Because they were going for the radio, like they were going for gold, and they were taking a bit of a risk, putting this stuff on an album.
Yeah, I think it was the right decision. I mean, she can pull off anything. I mean, she really can pull off anything. She could have pulled off, like, if Starlight Express had been done with, Debbie Harry, it'd be a completely different show. Like I
Yeah,
think I mean they could pull it off. I just, nothing makes sense in that one. Like what is it? Eating cars and guitars. Like
the
none of the
rhymes
lyrics
aren't.
even. The
Yeah,
rhymes aren't
they have
strong.
maybe in their day they were impressive, but they've been topped since. Uh,
Right. And even at the time, but I feel like the thing is the vibe of
right.
that.
Were you in a way hoping that people wouldn't notice the words?
I just knew that they wouldn't care.
Good.
They like honestly, when you think of a Blondie song, you kind of think of the way that she sings it. You don't think of the words of what she's saying.
No, that is one of the, yeah, that's another. It's like when you look like that, when you have that presence, people give you insulin, even if you don't need it. And also, I think you have that ability to put across art that maybe isn't, from in someone else's hands, maybe the lyrics of Rapture would have come across more as the clunkers that they were. I'm going to read them, and let me just know if when I'm reading these lyrics, if they bring back any memories, just like stop me.
Okay.
Fab Five Freddy told me everybody's fly. DJ spinning, I said my. And if you have any, just like be the like that website Genius that just does
Okay.
little call outs to what these things mean? Because I've always, a lot of these are kind of
Mhm.
puzzling to me, and I've been trying to.
Sure. Well, they wrote them as a group. That one. So the first lyrics you've said are not husband number two.
Oh, okay, all right. Um, yeah, I can kind of see that. It's got his fingerprints. Flash is fast. Flash is cool. Francois say pas. Flash ain't no dude. First of all,
I
I never
mean,
knew he was saying that.
yeah, I mean it's weird, but it's also like she's speaking French now, so it doesn't matter what she says. She could be saying the car is red.
Oh, it's a thing on a thing. It's like when Debbie Harry is saying words, already you're not paying attention because you're watching Debbie Harry. And then it's like almost how much more charisma can I pile on, and then like sexiness can I pile on my sexiness?
Yeah, and also, we didn't. I think now I actually would put the vocals up more, but at the time I kind of let them blend into the song because the her lilt was so different than all the men in rock then. So
Yeah,
just that alone, and she was just so cool and so punky and disco-y.
yeah, she definitely has
That's
the lilt of a white woman who is rapping.
I feel like I'm being kinder than you, but I guess that makes sense.
No, this all comes from a place of love, and it's also this is a bit of a, and I don't mean to, and in that, I'm now this is why another reason that I don't bring this stuff up with you because I'm afraid I might, when you know these people intimately, and here I am is just some fan who's coming out of
But
nowhere.
it's all valid. I mean, it's all valid, and also, this is,
I'm a huge Blondie fan. I don't mean to denigrate, but let me keep reading. Um,
okay,
and you don't stop, sure shot, go out to the parking lot, and you get in your car and drive real far. Car and far, good rhyme.
right,
And you drive all night, and then you see a night light, and it comes right down and it lands on the ground. And out comes a man from Mars.
right. Well, this would be, this happened late at night. She had a visitation, and it was right after a car accident. So I think you can kind of see how that got layered on, right? She left
I
the
see. I
grocery
never imagined that
store.
this was drawn from real life, but that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where it's coming from. It's a little bit esoteric because you can be that way in rock songs, but she was leaving. I mean, I don't know what kind of stores they had then. I don't remember, like a JC Penney. She wouldn't be at a JC Penney. She was
No,
leaving a store, and there was an electrical storm. A pole fell over. Her car was hurt. Her car. They call that a car accident.
her car was hurt.
But I'm using rock and roll language right now.
Right. No,
And
that's how the rockers would say it.
right, her car got hurt, and then she saw a flying saucer. That flying saucer helped her car be not hurt,
Well, so the
and
next part though
then
is
she wanted to write about
it's
it.
fascinating. Like if this happened and out comes a man from Mars, and you try to run,
Exactly.
but he's got a gun and he
Mhm.
shoots you dead and he eats your head. She had a really intense experience, and she was trying to put it to work to put it in her art.
Right, and now I feel like this many years later we can talk about it. So I think that's great.
It's amazing. I mean, I appreciate how close you were to her. There were a lot of Blondie songs that, whenever they pop up on the radio, I am just thrilled to hear them. In the flesh, "Rip Her to Shreds." That's a classic. She co-wrote that one. Did you? Well, I'm bouncing back to their debut album. Did you have anything to do with that one?
Yeah, "Rip Her to Shreds" was, I think, people really we had a female executive who was coming in and didn't like Blondie at all, and told her really mean things, and said something about her appearance and her boobs, and she left. And then we just kind of were in the studio already, so she just decided to sing that song after that. So that was just sort of like a real workplace song, actually.
So that was just
Even though
reacting to the moment. This
that was
woman
just
came in and
reacting to the
insulted
moment.
Debbie Harry. First of all, what did she have to say about her hair and boobs? It doesn't. It's a line of attack. I mean, this must okay. It was a different time, and there might have been
It was a different
substance
time.
involved.
She said, "Why can't you look like somebody that Burt Reynolds would go out with?" And
So wait,
that was
but
an
is this a Lonnie Anderson reference?
this is not.
We're still
This
not
is
talking
independent
about
of
Lonnie
that.
Anderson.
I don't know. We're not. The other
I,
woman's
I, I wish
name.
I knew this woman. You're no, but never. It's we're not talking about her. But that's
We're not talking
really
about it. But anyway, okay, anyway. Right.
Wow, that's see if that
Yeah.
was in if there was like a Blondie biopic and there was a scene where they're in the studio and this executive comes in and she tells Debbie Harry, "You're nothing, you're not pretty enough," or what or something, and she leaves the room, and then the band launched into Rip Her to Shreds. I would think this is the most contrived thing on earth, but you're saying that that is what happened.
I'm saying it was Ray-like proportions, where like Ray is like, "You better hit the road, Jack," and then he's like, "Hey, wait a minute, that's a song. Hit the road, Jack." It was
Wow.
pretty much like, yeah, that one was just straight. You know, sometimes it's aliens and sometimes it's just straight up Ray.
Tune in next week for part 2. Scott Jacobson is an executive producer on Bob's Burgers, which is entering its 13th season on Fox. And Tamara Federici is a golden god. The editor is Will Velasquez. The audio engineer is Clark Jackson. For updates, or to suggest a band, go to Every Band Ever on Instagram. Thanks for listening. See you next week. You sexy animals.